And now moving on to Magic Move, one of the best transitional functions in Keynote, which allows us to feign the art of animation. So the way that Magic Move works is it animates a transition between a shape's original position on a slide and that shape's final position on a new slide. So what that means for us is that we always need to have two slides in order to apply Magic Move. Magic Move will animate the shape from its position on slide 1 to its new position on slide 2. So here on slide 13, you see a bunch of shapes that are organized into a square. Our instructions are to move these shapes to form the tanagrams that are grayed out. So there is a rocket ship, a house, and a swan. The first shape has been done for you. So in slide 14, you see that the shapes that made the square have now been moved into the rocket ship formation. And our instructions are to now move those shapes into a house and then a swan. In order to duplicate this slide, I'm going to tap on slide 14 while it's highlighted and I see my format bar come up. I'll select copy and then I'll tap on slide 14 again and select paste. So here I see that on slide 14, the shapes are organized into a rocket ship, and on slide 15, they are organized into the rocket ship, which makes sense since we duplicated the previous slide. If I want the shapes to animate between slides 14 and 15, I need to move them into a new position. So in order to move them, I'll just tap on each shape and drag them into their corresponding place on the grayed out house figure. I will remove my formatting bar by tapping on the paintbrush so I have a little more room to work. So I'm zooming in on my screen by touching the screen with my thumb and my forefinger and moving my fingers apart from one another. I can move the screen around by touching on the screen with two fingers and moving my hand. I will select the parallelogram by tapping on it and I'll slide it into place on the chimney. If your parallelogram is behind the chimney when you move it, you might need to move the parallelogram to the front. So again, that is by selecting the object, tapping on the paintbrush, hitting arrange, and then moving the object by sliding the move to back front slider. Okay, I think the square goes in the bottom corner. And I personally like to rotate objects by deselecting them. So if you saw what I did with the square, and I'll do it again, I didn't touch the square to rotate it while it was selected, meaning while you see the blue dots around the corner. What I find for myself is that if I try to rotate a shape while it's selected, I end up distorting it because I'm dragging on the sliders. So if I were trying to rotate the shape, I might have a hard time and I might accidentally do that. So I always like to deselect the shape by tapping anywhere on the screen and then touch the shape with my pointer finger and my middle finger, and I rotate my fingers in order to rotate the shape. What's nice is that built into Keynote is the protractor tool, so it tells me by what angle I'm rotating my shape. Let's see, this blue triangle, I believe, forms one of the sides of the roof. And you can see the nice snap to place functions that Keynote has as I'm rotating these. And it looks like the pink triangle goes here. Let's see. The teal triangle, I believe, forms this piece, and I need to zoom out so I can see. And again, if you feel like this is difficult to maneuver, you can always zoom in to make it easier for your fingers. So this yellow triangle was a bit small for me, so I needed to zoom in on the screen in order to move it around. And I'll do the same for the green shape. Okay, so now I'm going to zoom out. I'll see what I have here, and that looks pretty good. Now, since Magic Move has already been applied between slide 13 and slide 14, when I duplicated slide 14 to make slide 15, Magic Move also duplicated. So what I mean by that is if I tap on slide 15 and I tap on Transition, which is where you will find Magic Move, I'll see that it's already selected. So I don't have to go through the process of selecting Magic Move as my transition function. Now when I play my presentation, I'll tap on slide 13, I'll hit play on the top right, I will tap anywhere on the screen to advance the slide, and I'll see that Magic Move has animated my shapes to the rocket ship, and hopefully if we did this right, Magic Move will also animate these shapes into the house formation. And that looks pretty good. So I will let you figure out how to animate your shapes between the house and the swan. One thing I do want to add is that if you have a slide, and I will just add a slide here, add a blank slide, and I'll add another one, so I'll copy this slide and paste it. So now I have slides 16 and 17. If I had a shape here, and I did not already have Magic Move applied, what I would do is tap on slide 16 and I would tap on Transition. So here you see that Magic Move has not already been selected. At the bottom center position of your screen, you see the option to add a transition. If I tap on that, you'll see all of the normal transitions that you would expect to find in a presentation. So there's twist, twirl, swoosh, reflection, pivot, all of these different transitions. And here at the front, you'll see your most frequently used transitions. And for myself, that's Magic Move. So if Magic Move had not already been applied to slides 13, 14, and 15, this is how you would apply Magic Move.